Previously on Miss President.
So the president is the leader of this cabinet, which is part of the government. And that forms the executive arm of government.
I'm pleased to take the powers conferred to me by Article 152(2) of the Constitution of Kenya that put in place my cabinet. I have put into consideration regional balance. Also, I have put into consideration special interest groups, professionalism, and even working experience.
I think there's going to be a lot of shake-up within our engagements with them, because that must come through. It cannot be business as usual, because things have changed.
We will allow you one more day, but kindly work on making yourself better, because you never know in the next episode whether a whole team might go.
We opened this episode with 49 contestants at the Academy. Is anyone going home tonight? At this stage, you never really know. Let me ask you again. Is Kenya ready for a female president? Is Kenya ready for a female president? Are these contestants ready to lead? Absolutely. Each of them is assertive, level-headed, and very determined to take on the responsibility and functions of leadership. Over 700 applications were received from all over Kenya, and from these, 350 contestants were shortlisted. After a series of auditions, over 50 women were selected, and they will now battle it out at the Academy for the coveted title of Miss President.
I have been prepared for this moment my entire teenage life and my part of my youth. And when I watched Miss President Season 1, I totally felt like I had missed an opportunity. And I watched every episode of that season, and I told myself, I can hack this and I will be in the next one and I will get the title.
Every day I wake up in the morning, I'm competing first against myself, against what I know and what I need to know. On pushing my limits. Growth is never comfortable. After you give your best today, you always have to keep on sharpening your skills every other day and be a woman of your word.
Joanne Kobuthi is an advocate of the High Court of Kenya and a gender and communication specialist with extensive experience in mass media, digital media, influencer engagement, and gender advocacy. She has worked with Family Media, BBC, Royal Media Services in various capacities over the years. She is also a regular gender commentator on print and mass media. She has worked with various social impact, non-governmental organizations, and the government of Kenya.
We had a really nice, robust, engaging conversation, discussion on equality. And we said why equality is something we must all individually, collectively endeavor to achieve, correct? And then we went into the political, the economic, and the social dimensions of equality. And then we talked about why inequality is a pressing need that needs to be tackled by all of us, individually and collectively in this room. In between, we had a lot of examples on inequality issues. Does anybody remember any example on inequality issues?
Yeah, we had inequality of men and women based on the menstrual cycle, in this case physiological inequality, where women could lose time in education system because of their monthly menstrual cycle.
I remember us having an illustration for access to different services, and I remember coming first. You remember when you asked who has access to 2 cars, who took breakfast this morning?
In the privilege test.
Yes.
The privilege test, if you remember, was that thing where we were trying to gauge the privilege and access that all of us have,
Yes.
and how we must always be careful when we get into rooms to check our privilege.
Thank you.
We also discussed privilege in regards to the gender wage gap, where we have women who have a lot of unpaid work that they do back at home, but men, their counterparts, don't do the housework, they go to work and they get paid for that. That's in the gender wage gap.
Awesome. So gender wage gap is a concept called unpaid care work, where women work an 8 to 5, go home, wear an apron, and do 5 more hours, while our friends, the men, just chill.
We also had the example of economic inequality that gave rise to the Arab Spring, where that gentleman felt so desperate and he was so depressed because of his level of economic poverty that he decided to set himself on fire in Tunisia, and it gave rise to a lot of such movement from the civil societies, and people started rebelling against laws that were infringing on people of low income.
I'm so impressed by this class.
We had a case study of mothers of political prisoners in Kenya as an example of political inequality.
Lovely. One of my favorite stories in history. So these are some of the stories that we discussed that day that capture different levels of inequality, different facets of inequality, ranging from political to social and economic. Today's assignment is on 2 cases. So we're taking the case study approach. We're studying the story of the Aboriginal people of Australia, which I mentioned during our session, if you remember. And the second case is the apartheid regime in South Africa. So what I need you to do with these 2 cases is to immerse yourself in the stories, because they're more than stories. They're human experiences. People actually went through these experiences. That's the first thing. The second thing is analyze the cases to the T. So not only do you immerse yourself, but understand all the nuances that these cases present, and I can tell you there are so many of them. Because these cases happened years ago, I need you to take yourself back in time and figure out what the folks at the time were thinking, were feeling, were going through. But don't stay there. Don't stay back in time. So look back, then look now. I want you to analyze any residual impact that these situations have had and continue to have on people. And then finally, because all of you are now in government, I need you to analyze these cases with your specific context. So if it's the Kenyan context that you're in, I need you to bring that to the context, extrapolate. The more you push yourself towards immersing yourself in the issue, the better it'll be.
Over 700 applications were received from all over Kenya, and from these, 350 contestants were shortlisted. After a series of auditions, over 50 women were selected, and they will now battle it out at the Academy for the coveted title of Miss President. Our judges for this season are Dr. Zippy Okoth, who is a lecturer at KCA University, a gender specialist, an award-winning filmmaker, and founding director of Lake International Pan-African Film Festival. She will be looking for one who is informed, bold, visionary, and has a unique leadership predisposition. Jerry Kirani is a policy advisor and researcher and advocate for women's advancement. She will be looking for courage, determination, and excellence. She will be kind but firm, as she feels that at the Academy, there is no room for mediocrity. Michael Onyango is the founder and leads as the agenda setter for Kenya's largest and most trusted social media platform WhatsApp, the Forgotten Bottomillions, 4BM, a social enterprise currently reaching over 500,000 persons every week for free via WhatsApp and transforming the lives of thousands of Kenyans. Michael will be looking for audacious, bold, and daring leaders.
Your Excellency the President, the Ministers President, there is this issue which is at heart, and it's an issue that cuts across in different ministries. Those are present here, and this is inequality. Less than 0.1% of the population of the people own wealth. And with the current budget of the country, which is at 3.3 trillion, I believe we have to put into place the matter of equality so that each and every citizen believes in our government, right?
We realize that once there is an equality in one system, in one part like political, it has a ripple effect. When you do not have land, you do not have food, and they were also not getting education. I'd relate this to our Kenyan government, Biwarizi. Whereas the 2010 constitution gave us the affirmative action, the previous government have still not signed the two-third gender bill.
If you realize in our country, actually the 10% of the richest people are earning more than 23 times than the 10% of the poor people within country. So what are we saying? As a country, 80%, the number of the super rich in Kenya is actually growing very fast each day. So there are high rates of inequality in this country. And the constitution here really talks about how we can actually actualize and make sure the country is very leveraged for each and every one of us.
Yes, come in. I have brought my daughter to school.
Are you serious? We can't have black children in this school. Can you go? Go away. Can you take these people away, security? Take them away. No education for black children. Go away. I don't want to see them. That define the school. Go away.
In the past, going to school was mainly for the privileged, from families who could afford school fees. But from now henceforth, our government, the Mwangaza Party, will ensure that education is not just free in primary, but it's free for every child who cannot afford up to university level.
Equality is not a privilege, but a human right. And an equal world makes the future bright. What makes you feel that you are superior to your brothers when you were created the same as your brothers? Equality can be realized when we believe and join hands to take action and achieve.
Raisi, wapo wanasema hawana unga ya ugali.
Kama hawana ugali si wakule chapati.
Imagine a world where you do not belong. No home, you are stateless. you do not have access to basic services. And if you do, it is low quality. Welcome back to Kenya. It's your country, you're proud of it, right? We have the Constitution, we have Article 43, we have a whole chapter on Bill of Rights. But have we achieved them? Have we? Think about it. And as you see me, I'm coming from a marginalized community where education is a privilege. I'm not sure if my children will even learn in their counties. As ufanisi, chama cha ufanisi, we have solutions. And what is it? Our solution is we want a tech-enabled communities where we can learn in our own local languages. No marginalized community is left behind. Don't you like that? Equality starts with you and me. I challenge you.
Naomba niwaulize swali. Ni nani miongoni mwenu alichagua kuwa na rangi ya ngozi alionayo? Iwe ni nyeusi, nyeupe ama maji ya kunde.
Take a moment and imagine that you are a black person living in Africa. And because you have the agency and the freedom to live as you choose, you decide to migrate to Australia. You settle, you come up with your education system, your culture, your religion. You are at peace. But little did you know that far off in Britain, they have decided that the people who've been released from jail will be deported to your country. And so what do? They come and they colonize you between the 1770s and the 1850s. And what do they do to you? They take your land, they take your children, they deprive you the right to live, they enslave you.
Allow me present some inequality scenarios that are in this country, which my ministry promises that Your Excellency will address. Men and women in this country are supposed to undertake family planning, but you realize we are learning from our data that men have only 3 methods, while women have about 8 methods. And data is showing us that when it comes to vasectomy, men don't want to do vasectomy while women are the ones subjected. I will liaise, of course, with my colleague in the Justice Ministry. Are there laws or policies that we could look at and then see how we handle this?
In solving the burden of unpaid care work in this country, we are going to introduce daycare centers in every county, and we are also going to liaise with the Ministry of ICT. We're going to have a daycare app where citizens, and especially young mothers and women who are marginalized, will be able to book through the app and ensure that the kids are well taken care of while they go to look for employment.
You can't know someone's story until you listen to it. Picture this. You are a native of a country, but there are only 3% of you. So sad. Picture this. Despite that, you have been stripped of everything that means to you. First, your land, your children, your dignity, your culture, your language, all gone. And that happens for such a long time. And like the world does not notice. 60 years, Your Excellency.
Remember, South Africa is 70% black, but they made sure that they pushed them to only occupy 20% of the land. 80% of that land was dedicated for only white people, who are actually the minorities in that country. So what do we learn? We learn that South Africa right now, which are some of the effects of this particular situation, they are still not able to bond and work together. They still have reservations against their own tribes. They have even gone to the extent of fighting other Africans who are able to come to the country to contribute to the economy. South Africans are still angry. I advise you, so that going forward, you can put in systems that will allow that the country does not face the same atrocities.
This is Kilimo Mwangaza Party. We are back to fulfill our promise. The year is 1963, and we as Kenyans, we were optimistic for a better future, and we knew that we have sent away Mzungu to have equality for all of us. Little did we know that things will change. And then we got Mwananchi and mwenye nchi.
As a government in Kilimo Mwangaza, we're seeking to make policies that will be inclusive in order to address these gaps, the inequality gaps. And then we also want to have a review of the land regime system where we can have certain areas of land not fragmented. That can only come if we have put in policies that enable us to produce better, to sell better, and to use resources better.
And here we are with the judges and the trainer for the day. Our trainer for today is Ms. Joanne Kabuthi, and she's an expert in all things policy, governance, and media. She is here with us to observe and talk about what she's actually seen in terms of the assignment that she has given to the academy participants. And I will leave it to her to extrapolate more on exactly what is that she expects to see out of this assignment.
I really enjoyed the presentations. I thought they were good quality. I thought that they were really top-notch when it comes to quality and content. I liked the delivery for the most part from most of the groups. I think they really gave of themselves to the assignment. So generally, I think that they definitely learned from the session and they've extrapolated and done a really good job when it came to a presentation. Obviously, there are some groups that stood out more than others, but I would say I'm happy.
I think the ladies today woke up to the realization that it's a competition, knowing that today the trainer and the judges put them to the spot on presenting, and they had to really think out of the box. It's not just about the previous days, the previous episodes. They've been just creating, formulating a constitution, but now they have to think. Now they have to start strategizing. What next? What is this equality? It's a common word, we hear it every day, but what really is equality and equity? They really had to now start understanding that. And I like that the trainer gave them a research-based assignment where you research and then again there's that application, so it really put them out of the box.
They did deliver on certain aspects, but one of the things that they had been asked to do was to be creative. They were supposed to have out-of-the-box thinking, but instead what we got to see is a lot of drama. And I think the drama and we are moving together, this herd mentality, is diminishing from the gains they're getting as individuals. And we are waiting to see the individuals. I'm hoping that once we give them feedback, it will come clear that, yes, we want you to be creative, but we also want you to start thinking as individuals.
Thank you. Judge Michael.
A presentation is also meaningful if it's linked to data and statistics, so that then we can judge properly, and then when you've done your research, we're actually able to query and link it to some certain deliverables. But as it is, they're learning, so these are the things that we're here for, to look at the place that they need to fill in. So they need to keeping up, and I'm happy that we're able to correlate what is happening in Australia and in South Africa. Some of them did that fairly well and link it with the things that are happening here.
Is there maybe a possibility, maybe a hint of who may be going home today that you'd like to share with your friendly presenter? Maybe, perhaps, a little bit?
You never really know.
Until you know.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, you heard it from the judges themselves. You never really know until you know.
So ladies, our instructions are very, very clear. Before 8:30, which is exactly 7 minutes, you take a paper from your notebook, write 2 people from your group who are the weakest link, and write your name of the person who's writing those 2 people. If you as that person does not put down those 2 names, bye-bye and good night.
Six envelopes, 6 parties, 6 governments, Mwamko Mpya, Ufanisi Party, Ujiji Party, Sawazisha Party, Mwangaza Party, Kilimo Mwangaza Party. And your decisions are all inside here. So I'm going to take these to the judges and they will have the final word.
My feeling is today people are going to go home. And people, it means a couple, probably more than even 4 or 3. And why is the chances have been too many.
Given the group dynamics, if you're not an effective team leader, if you're not able to bring everyone on board, then you fail the whole team.
If you are this kind of a group leader who is too bossy, who is not ready to listen to people's opinion, definitely I think you will be going home.
The person who is likely to go home today is the person who has not been able to find their role or their space in the groups, because now we are working in groups.
The persons or group of persons that feel would probably go home today are people who have not made their space known in the academy, meaning that others might perceive them as not having a voice loud enough to stay in the academy.
And now, the moment we've all been waiting for, both here, the academy, and for the viewers at home. All rise. Please be seated.
Hello, ladies. Hello. I hope you've had a very beautiful day. You've learned a lot about equality and inequality, of which, as women, I believe that's one thing we've championed since we went to Berlin. Yeah? I will start by giving Judge Njeri the opportunity to give her comments.
So I'll just start with the GG Party. Right from the get-go, like I've always said, if you're number one, make sure you do a good job. And the first thing that I noticed was content was not coming out clearly. So the storytelling should be about your issue. Giving examples from where we were starting with the Aborigines and of course the situation in South Africa. Mwangaza Party, I just felt you could have done a little better with your presentation. When I was coming round listening to you, you mentioned IDPs, but I didn't hear that in your presentation. And I was like, you have identified a group in this context that really needs to be paid attention to, but I didn't see that in your presentation, and so that surprised me. Ufanisi na ustawi, you had definitely much better content, but you had a beautiful story which you did not extrapolate on. So you started off well, and I thought that would have been a really beautiful story if you had expounded, because I heard you talking about a solution, which was good, that can we learn in our local languages, which is one good thing. But then at the end of the day, also start thinking more like, okay, fine, we've learned in our local languages, but how does it make us competitive as a community when you're coming out into the larger world? Mwamko mpya, I must agree that I enjoyed your presentation. I enjoyed the poetry. I enjoyed the way some of you were coming from this direction, others were coming from the other direction. But I also felt that you had too many issues you were trying to cover in 10 minutes. So this is a competition. You have 10 minutes to bring out your best. I would rather you pick 3 pithy issues that you can expound on just to show us that you know what you're saying, than to try and cover too many things, then you run out of time, then you end up looking disorganized. Sawazisha Party, I also enjoyed your presentation, but the point I had said is if you're going to dramatize, do a great job at it. Okay? Just do a good job at it. Kilimo Mwangaza, your presentation was also clear and also quite articulate. And I also liked what you did quite a bit. And I saw that your basket has changed, which is good. Now it's not discriminatory. And today we're talking about issues, aren't we? So generally, what I want to say across the board, which I have noticed, is when you are making your presentation, guide your audience. You can start by saying, we are going to focus on these 3 issues, so that I now know this is what we're focusing on. Then we look across what was expected in the presentation.
That was Judge Njeri on a very nice day. And now to Judge Michael.
Thank you very much, Dr. Okoth. Ladies, good evening again. When you're given an assignment, the easiest way to crack and to get it right, just go through each question and ensure you've answered it and tick it. Don't go beyond that. Yes, stories are very important and very powerful in terms of endearing yourself to your audience and in terms of getting them to listen to you. So whenever you have a story that makes people see themselves within the story, immediately you have a captive audience. Beyond drama, there's many other ways in which you can and you must now start exploring on how to present your issues. Please go back and find out what the meaning of innovative is, so that when you come back going forward, for those of you who will still be here with us, you start being innovative in the way you approach your assignments and your deliverables. You can only be factual, and we can only trust you when your presentations and the information that you give is backed up by data and statistics, numbers. So no matter how long the story you give, if you don't have solid numbers and data to back you up, we're not able to comprehend and understand better the situation, the gravity of it, or what it is you're trying to get us or to win us over for.
I felt very embarrassed by some of the groups that presented drama. Let's use better techniques. Let's use very modern techniques. Even if you want to use drama, there are better ways. I'll just brush through. Ujiji Party, very good points. However, we felt that somehow you did not give yourself enough time because you over-dramatized everything and you didn't have time to present the real fact. Mwangaza Party, same. That's like you saw the others rehearsing, you're like, let's also use drama. Ufanisi na Ustawi, we liked the way you used drama a bit and then you spent the time to talk to people about your work. That's very good because at least you caught our eye and attention, and then you now went into explaining what you had, and you had a PowerPoint which you didn't rehearse well. Mwamko Mpya, we really liked your points. I think I'm glad that you rode on with the vision that you had yesterday for your party, and you were able to put it into the work that you had today, even when you're talking about equality. Sawazisha Party, time, lack of preparation. As a leader, you have to prepare. You cannot, actually, you just didn't answer the question. People have been so nice to you, let's be honest. There were only 4 things the judges are looking for, and in all these 4 things, it's all about contextualizing. You gave us too much history of other people. Kilimo Mwangaza Party. Kilimo Mwangaza Party, your presentation was very good. We really liked your hands-on examples, like the issue of teachers, the issue of decolonization of the mind. I think your presentation was very beautiful, and we voted you the best group for the day. The weakest group of the day, we have Ujiji Party. Ujiji Party, I think you just were carried away in the drama. You had the themes in the drama, but you did not contextualize it within the drama. Are we on the same page? Yes, like even if you're using drama, use it purposefully. Let the message come out within the drama. And without much ado, we will get into the elimination. Today, some people have to go home. I will start with Mwangaza Party. Kindly, may you all stand up. Before I say this, it is important for you to note that your votes counted at 40% and the judges' vote counted at 60%. If I call your name, kindly come forward. Vicky Lotende and Venica Bosibori, kindly. Vicky Lotende You are really a good leader, really going out of your way, even during presentations. You really want people to notice the work that you're doing. We also love that you bring in your personality into the work, and that's something very beautiful. Veronica Bosibori, we also like how you put your whole self into the work, and even when you see you there as a group, you do not feel intimidated by these young girls within the group. However, one person has to go home. Veronica Bosibori, you will go home today. We thank you for coming to the Academy, for sharing your time all these days for the training, the knowledge that you have shared in the Academy, you've taken from the Academy, you're going to share it out there with your community. The next team is Kilimo Mwangaza. Kilimo Mwangaza, you are the best group for the day. However, in every strong team, there must be a weak link. I'd request Florence Dinda and Wanjiru Mburu to come forward. Florence Dinda, thank you so much for joining us in the Academy and for sharing your very great experience. It might feel like, why am I the one who's been voted out? Sometimes you have to go because there can only be one winner, ladies. Yeah. I'd just like to encourage you that the knowledge that you've gotten here should not end here. And even the friends you made in that group, it should not end there, because you are going to enjoy the networks and the networks that you've created here in the Academy. It was not in vain that you are in a very powerful group at that. Florence Dinda, we are sorry that you will be leaving the Academy, but we are very proud that you made it to this level. Then we have got Sawazisha Party. Sawazisha Party, I'd like the following to come forward. Muchungu Kawira, Benta, Dr. Frida Karani, and Tabitha Ogutu. Let me first of all say congratulations that you have risen up the ladder. The last 2 days, we have felt that you are the weakest group, but today your group was not the weakest. So congratulations on that. However, somebody has to go home. And the 4 of you, it was felt that you were the weakest link. I'd like to request Tabitha Ogutu to remain standing. The rest can sit down. Tabitha Ogutu, sometimes things happen the way we least expect it, and that's what's happened right now. However, I'd like to encourage you that may you continue being a great leader. You are very active in your group, and I don't want you to stop there today. May you continue doing what you've been doing, adding to the skills that you have attained in the Academy. Kindly take it to your organization, kindly take it to your networks, and beyond this, let us be able to feel that it is not because you left among the first elimination, but because you had a bigger purpose. The next party is Ujiji Party. You chose your weakest links for reasons best known to you. I'd like to request Josephine Kimaita and Agatha Mukami to come forward. If one of you leaves the Academy, I want you to understand it has got nothing to do with your what? Your age. It is a competition, and when you're with these young people, you know, they think too fast. Yeah, move with them at that pace. And with that, I'd like to request Josephine Kimaita to sit down. Agatha Mukami, you have really represented a very big population of women we have in this country by virtue of your age, by virtue of your stamina. When you go out there, the knowledge that you've gotten here, I want you, and I believe that you're going to use it to empower other women out there, and even your children. Then we go to Ufanisi Party. I'd like to request Milka Riga to come forward. I also request Linda Kageha to come forward. Milka, we saw how active you are in your presentations. We've seen how active you are in the previous episodes. And we just like to tell you, it is good. We like how selflessly you give of yourself to the group members, of your time, of your knowledge. And also when we came to your group, we could see how you're trying to balance those who want to speak nonstop and those who cannot raise their hands very high up. And so we really liked that. And Linda Kageha, we also watched you, and we were very glad about how you participated within the group, how you were able to articulate your issues within the group. Even if one of you is going home, it is not at all because you are the weakest link, because you've come this far. And we just want to say we appreciate you. I would like to request Milka Riga to have a seat. Linda Kageha, we are very sorry to say that we are going to give you an opportunity to go back home, to empower other women, to share your knowledge, and to be even a greater leader than you are because of the knowledge that you have had here. Then last and not the least, Mwamko Mpya Party. Mwamko Mpya Party, this is a very vibrant group. You can feel the energy all around the room, isn't it? Yeah, we'd like also to acknowledge that Mwamko Mpya Party, you are also a very close competition to the best team of the day. You came first runners up, so clap for yourselves. We still have to have someone go home. So kindly Linda Ogweno and Monica Kosgei step forward. This is a very strong, powerful, and vibrant group. And it gave the judges a hard time to decide the two of you who is going home. And on that note, we are going to give you a final test.
Because you both tied, we're going to give each of you an opportunity to tell us why you should remain in the academy.
Thank you very much. First, one of the reasons I believe I should stay in the house is because I have actively participated in the group. And some of the unique ideas that you have praised about our group, be it climate engineering, be it the internet, were ideas that actually originated from me. Last but not least, I had a point that I believe the youth of this country can help address one of the challenges of unemployment of this country. I didn't get to present it because we ran out of time. I believe removing me today will deny you judges an opportunity to hear of it, and will also deny Kenyans an opportunity to hear of it. For those reasons, I beg to stay.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Linda. You are very articulate. That we appreciate.
I'm Monica. I believe in myself. I believe in my leadership. I believe the contribution that I make in the group. One challenge that also we face as a group is when we get a group which is so full of ideas and trying to align yourself to fit into that, it might be a challenge. However, I believe that leaders are made and they go through mentorship, they are coached, they are given opportunities. And therefore, in my group, I have had opportunities to offer my expertise, to offer my abilities to make change in the nation.
The question was very simple and very clear. Why should you stay in the academy? Linda, you gave us how much and how well you contributed to your group, and how, if given a chance to stay in the academy one more time, you'll help your group. Monica, you gave us the challenges you faced as a group. You did not tell us why you should stay in the academy. And so you didn't answer the question. And for that reason, Linda, you'll have another chance. Sometimes it gets that tough, even in the judges' table, but we thank you. You are all very powerful in your own right. You are leaders already, and that's why you are in the academy. We need you to be better. We need you to grow a greater scale, even if it is just for one episode, that the world can see you. Make it worth it.
This is something which, if I'm given a chance in a better group or to do it alone, I will do better. There are people suffering in groups because we have characters who are domineering.
The exercise of elimination, it was totally a torture to me because I was looking at myself, how can I eliminate somebody I've only interacted with for 2 days? I told God, if any of these people that I've put down with my hands are going to be victims of elimination, let it be me.
In every competition, there must be a winner. There must be a person coming second. And if it has come to my chance to become the second or the third, I accept that positively.
I believe this is not the end of me. I have a whole life to live outside there. I have a lot of opportunities, but I wish my colleagues all the best.
Did you see that? As you nominate each other for elimination. Tried and tested, they have been taken on a rational and emotional roller coaster. What a ride! The laws of the jungle prevail, and this is survival of the fittest. This group of women continues on a long and grueling journey that will demand their very best. Let's see who advances steadily through this labyrinth to emerge as the queen of the jungle. Rawr! I challenge you now with this quote from Sylvia Plath, an American author. And by the way, everything in life is writable about if you have the outgoing guts to do it and the imagination to improvise. The worst enemy to creativity is self-doubt. The worst enemy to creativity is self-doubt. Thoughts, opinions, compliments, suggestions? Tweet us on @media_focus. Find us on Facebook at MFA Media Focus Africa, and check us out on Instagram at Media Focus on Africa. See you next week on Miss President, where some will remain or others will have reached the end of the road. But on Miss President, you never really know until you know.